Did you have any experience of homophobia, maybe like when you were in school?
I personally didn't really have it to an extreme. I would say there was one guy in particular that I don't know now and I haven't ever seen since leaving school, that he, for whatever reason, he knew, probably before I even knew, and he used to give me a bit of a hard time. And deep down it would get me really upset, and I'd only have him in certain classes and I'd hate to go to them lessons, so I'd play truant sometimes.
Really?
And so it was tough, but on the other hand, I had quite a good upbringing off of parents and stuff, and I could kind of, I was strong-headed, but when I was alone at home and stuff, I used to think about it and it would upset me.
So what would your advice be to a younger person who was maybe in the same situation that you were in then?
I'd say my advice to a younger person that is maybe getting bullied at school for people calling them names or whatever because of their sexuality is, it's nothing to do with them. There's nothing wrong with them. They're a human being. They are born that way, like the Lady Gaga song. And I don't. It's tough. I can't say there's anything that they could do. It's all down to the person that's doing it, and they need to kind of take a rain check and realise that you're ruining somebody's life and making them feel this awful way. And they're the people that are wrong because they're vicious, and it isn't the person that's gay. And I wish there was something that I could say to them to say it is all right, and maybe it is once you come out and finally do say that you are gay. In my experience, you don't get any negative feedback, and everyone is quite positive about it. But to try and get something words to say, what would my advice be? It would just be, just keep your head held high. There's nothing wrong with you. Don't be ashamed. And I know you're not supposed to swear, but stick two fingers up at them and carry on.
And what about in terms of reporting it? Did you report it to a teacher?
I never reported any kind of homophobic bullying whatsoever because I didn't want to accept it myself, so let alone go into an office and tell a teacher. That at that time is quite a big and scary thing to do because you don't want your parents to find out.
Yeah,
and the teachers might tell the parents. So there's kind of this spiralling thing that once you say it to one person, it could get out to everybody.
So maybe what about if there'd been people around you that knew it was happening to you?
I think, yeah.
Them to maybe speak up on behalf of...
I think I left school in 2002, and obviously even from the short space that I've left school, I think the times have changed dramatically already. So when I went to school, there was no gay people in school. I didn't have any gay members in my family. It didn't associate with gay people whatsoever. So to me, it was quite alien, and I felt like I was dealing with it on my own and didn't have anybody to talk to. But I think nowadays, because more people are coming out and saying they're gay, and obviously I'm quite young and I've publicly came out and said it, you've got Joe McKelvey that's done it, that there's somebody to look up to now to say they've done it, and their lives haven't changed for the worse. If anything, they're going on to bigger and brighter things. The explanation of that would be Gareth Thomas, who is the famous rugby player that's recently came out as gay, and he would be the prime example of somebody who doesn't dress up in pink all the time, hasn't got a flamboyant gay accent. He's quite macho and quite tough. So there are gay people out there that are Phil Mitchell type people in EastEnders who isn't gay but he's a tough guy. And there is people like myself that can maybe camp it up when I'm with my gay friends, and they're all quite flamboyant. But if I'm in a normal situation and I'm being myself, I'll just be me and don't have to put on this persona of I'm gay, so I'm going to talk like this or act like this or walk this way.
Brilliant. Who was suffering from that?
I think in terms of cyberbullying and things like that, it's a catch-22 situation where we've got the internet and it's easier accessible to get to people that are gay and call them names and say these things. But it's also with the internet, you can research people that live in a more cosmopolitan area with a lot more gay people and realise that they're normal people and not everybody has to be bullied for their sexuality. So you've got the internet, you can get bullied for being gay, but you can also research the fact that it's not a bad thing and it's not a crime.
And what advice would you have to somebody who maybe was receiving cyberbullying?
I would say anyone that is getting cyberbullied, that report it in any way they can, even if they go to the police. The police aren't just there to catch burglars and robbers and stuff. You can report things that might sound a bit petty, like cyberbullying, but things can be done.
Excellent. Do you quite often hear the word gay being used inappropriately? I don't like your trainers, they're gay, I hate this lesson, it's gay.
Yeah, me personally, when somebody says, them trainers look gay, or he looks dead gay, I don't find offence in that whatsoever. Some people say gay means happy, you never know. But yeah, I don't find offence to it, some people may do.
Do you think that it might have negative implications, though, that every time somebody thinks something's crap, they use the word gay? So in a lot of young people's minds...
Particularly at school.
But yeah, particularly at school. Do you think there could be negative consequences to it?
Yeah, I think it is bad. The way that people do use the word gay is in a bad sense when they call things, oh, that's gay, that's dead gay, that it is in a negative way. Mm-hmm. So I don't really understand why kids do that. And I don't know where it comes from. I don't imagine the parents at home would use language like that, and so I don't understand how it's kind of filtered into schools. Yeah, I suppose it's just the way that you're brought up and with manners and respect, and to know that using terms like that is, in a way, bullying to some people.
How do you feel like things like Hollyoaks and somebody like yourself who's a massive role model to a lot of people who'll be watching, how do you think that storylines like the one you're involved in are affecting issues like homophobia or people's attitudes towards transgender?
I would say that Hollyoaks, in general, in all the gay storylines that we've done, has always been aimed really at younger people. And what's nice about the one that I'm covering at the moment, it's kind of my character's still quite young, and Brendan's character is the macho man. So we're kind of targeting both areas in being gay adults and gay teenagers close to early 20s, just kind of showing the variety in a relationship from being with someone that's quite old and with someone that's quite young, and how dangerous the relationships can be sometimes, and not just because they're gay, but everything else that's involved in a relationship. And I think Hollyoaks in general does that quite good, and I think we get the message across, and the feedback that we also get from the audience has been really positive, so it's obviously working.
How do you think homophobic bullying affects people? How did it affect you when it was happening to you?
I think homophobic bullying can scar people, really. And I know that I did have a happy upbringing, like I said earlier on, with my family and home life. But at school, sometimes there were really dark days, and I know I got off quite lightly, but I know that it's quite severe in some cases. And you just want to cuddle the person and say it's absolutely going to be all right. And I'm trying to think if there's something that we could do, and I can't think in my head. It's just me trying to get words out to say everything is going to be okay. And it isn't a disease, it's just a sexuality. It's not a big deal.
Could you think of any advice to give to maybe teachers or schools? Like, for example, do you think if schools talked more about sexuality?
I would think a perfect solution would be to maybe have a lesson on sexuality. If we can have one on religion, I don't see why we can't have one on sexuality. If I was to suggest absolutely anything to try and help the situation, it would be if schools had a support system for it, that the person that is getting bullied reports it to the teacher then gets the bully into the lesson. And I know it sounds quite dramatic, but I would take them to somewhere like a gay bar or a gay club or a gay community and just show them that they're human beings and they're normal, and that's it. Like, everyone's completely different to each other, and just because of their sexuality doesn't mean that they should be made to feel ashamed or anything like that. And I think if the bully was to meet another gay person that's older, they would realise that they are just normal.
What's people's reactions been to you coming out?
I kind of had a different experience of coming out to everybody else, because I've done it twice. I've done it personally with family and friends and stuff like that, which at the time you think it's the biggest thing in the world, and that your family are going to reject you and your friends aren't going to be your friends, and you're going to have to create a whole new life for yourself. But that's all in your head, and I'm sure every single person that's come out will say the same, that once you say those words, it's like something leaves your body and you're happy all of a sudden, and you can smile 24 hours a day instead of 22 hours of the day, and the other 3 hours you sat there going, oh, I'm gay and I don't want to tell anyone and I'm really scared. So I'd say it makes you smile a lot more. And obviously, because of the job I do, I came out then publicly to everyone else. So it was a lot easier the second time, but obviously now the whole world is accessible to the fact that I'm gay. And I was scared that I would get quite a lot of nasty comments and homophobic comments on my Twitter and things like that. And I would say out of however 100 messages I get each week, there would be 2 negative ones.
That's good.
So it's been positive, and in my head it makes me think that the world is changing and we are getting to the point where people are going to start accepting it more.